Welcome to the ORU Sports Spotlight, everyone. I'm Scott Higgins. Well, you know, it's soccer and volleyball season around here. We will catch up with the men's soccer team later and find out what keeps them rolling. Meanwhile, both the men and women are opening conference play. And as many of you know, the teams are coached by brothers. We'll meet the Bush brothers. Josh Salem later will join us to talk about the much improved volleyball team. But first, we're going to talk a little men's basketball. You know, college basketball is a crazy place with the transfer portal and getting paid for commercial endorsements. But at the end of the day, it's still just a game. ORU head coach Paul Mills knows that. He led the Golden Eagles through a COVID-ravaged season last year to a Summit League championship and a trip to the Sweet 16. And guess what? Coach is back, and so is the nation's leading scorer, Max Abmas. Coach, welcome aboard, and are you still feeling it? It's been months since that fateful night of the Sweet 16. Are you still feeling it?
No, because you're extremely upset that you lose a one possession game. And I tell people, if you ever get an opportunity to coach a Division I team and play in a Sweet 16 game, find a way to lose by 30 if you're going to lose, because one possession games will keep you up at night.
Do you ever look back, though, at the season as a whole? When the season began, of course, you're hoping to win the conference championship, but could you have ever dreamed that it would go as far as it did? Or maybe you did.
Yeah, I mean, I would often tell our guys that, hey, we are going to win the conference tournament. We are going to win multiple games in the NCAA tournament. That was less prophetic,
yes,
and more so, this is the things that need to happen in order to make those things become a reality. And to our players' credit, they were willing to make the sacrifices off the court, obviously, in a COVID year.
Mm-hmm.
But then from a basketball standpoint, we did a really good job of taking care of the ball and then knocking down free throw opportunities. And those things translated in order to allow us to get to the second weekend in March Madness.
And speaking of COVID year, it was such a crazy year. The COVID regular season delayed the start of it. Then you guys are in the bubble in the NCAA tournament. Everything was different. Do you think, and even the Summit League tournament, there were no fans. So it was just nuts from head to toe, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was definitely different. Before this past season, I'd gone to 4 other Sweet 16s as an assistant coach. And so you're aware of all the hype and the fandom that comes with winning that first weekend and then going back home and seeing
Sure.
a campus and everybody electric. And so to that degree, it was great that we were able to minimize the distractions. And so I thought it allowed our players to stay focused. But it was definitely different than what previous NCAA tournaments have been.
Now, the fun part is this year, the fans are going to be saying Sweet 16 last year. They're going to be expecting it and even more. How do you like that pressure?
Love it. I mean, obviously, who wants to go into the season with low expectations?
Sure.
And that's the standard. You want to constantly raise the bar. You constantly want to push things to a greater and greater level. And I feel that we've got the players and an understanding, and not only an understanding, but a belief that is required in order to make those things a reality.
Things are different in college basketball. I said in the intro, the NLI, the portal, it's just a different world, isn't it, than when you started out?
Yeah, it is. I think all of these things are a good thing. I think anytime that you can give your players extra financial resources, most of them come from very poor socioeconomic situations. So I think anytime that you can help your players by them doing things, by just being a good player and getting a piece of a jersey that they get sell up. They previously never had those opportunities. The transfers have always been around. Obviously, what makes it different is now you're immediately eligible. And so from that context, that's different, but I don't think that that's a bad thing either.
We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll find out what to expect from the Golden Eagles this upcoming season. That's coming up next on the ORU Sports Spotlight. We're back with ORU head men's basketball coach Paul Mills. And Paul, a lot of people were pleasantly surprised that you decided to stick around. A lot of times when these big things happen, coaches move, but you're here at ORU for the long haul.
Yeah, ORU's been terrific to me. I obviously believe in the mission of the school. My family loves it. I love the players, love the institution, and the fact that you can mix athletics with Christ is very unique in this day and age. So this is a wonderful opportunity.
All right, let's get down to the brass tacks for the upcoming season. Fans are expecting big things. You got a tough home schedule. You got Oklahoma State in town, Tulsa, great schedule. Lots of expectations. What are you looking for this season?
Well, it's good to have more home games than road games. It's only the third time that it's happened this decade. And so it's a wonderful opportunity to be at home, not have to travel as much, even with COVID still being an issue, not only across the state, but across the nation. We returned 5 of our top 6, add very good pieces. I think people will be pleasantly surprised by not only our transfers, but by our freshmen. And looking forward to kicking it off. We'll be picked somewhere between 1st and 3rd, is my guess in our conference.
Sure.
So the opportunity to prove yourselves day in and day out is a luxury that I don't take for granted.
You know, Max Abmas, he was flirting with the NBA, and there was a lot of interest. How relieved are you? I guess you're relieved in one way that he's back. On the other hand, I know you'd like to see the young man have gone on to make that paycheck.
Yeah, you definitely want to see your players go to the NBA. That's what you want them to do. People go to college to prepare for their future. He was preparing for their future. It's not a question of if Max will be in the NBA. It's just a question of when. And he and his family were very deliberative about this entire process, really sought out the information, but said, hey, at this particular time, it's best that I stay in college, refine some skills in order to put myself in a good situation moving forward. And he was very thoughtful about this entire process.
It was a lot of fun for the fans, but as fans, we're all glad he's back. Paul, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll catch up with you again before the season.
Thank you.
All right. If you're interested in ORU basketball season tickets, simply call the number 495-7678. That's 495-7678. Good seats are available and a great schedule ahead. Thank you, Coach. Well, folks, you know, one of ORU's most successful teams over the past couple of years has been the men's soccer program. In and out of the national rankings and winning some big games, the Golden Eagles are definitely ready for this year's conference season.
Hello, I'm Reed Berry with the ORU men's soccer team, and I play forward, and I'm number 9. I'm currently a junior.
Hi, I'm Dante Brigida. I'm also a striker. I'm on the men's soccer team, and I'm a senior. To prepare for the conference play, we've been trying to focus, really dial in and practice, making sure we're focused, and we had a good last start to conference last year, so we just want to start that again and make sure we're playing good.
We've done a lot of work for the culture to make sure it's right for the season, making sure everyone's working hard in and out of practice, in the classroom. How you do anything is how you do everything, so we want to make sure that we're doing it right, and we're looking to win a conference championship this year.
We've had a lot of new kids coming in. It's been actually pretty easy, bringing them into the culture, and just the team in general has been actually really good.
And we lost a couple key parts from our team last year that made us so good, and I think that this year the team has meshed together a lot better than it has in the past years, and the culture is just crazy. We are probably, one of our core values is that we are one, and I think that this year we are one more than any year that we have been since I've been here.
Obviously, our main goal for the conference is to win out, make sure we don't lose or have any hiccups throughout the whole conference. It's a long conference play, so we're just looking to make sure we stay focused and win out those games, and when we get to the championship weekend, make sure we win that.
The number one goal this year is to obviously win a conference championship. We were so close the past 2 years, and we won a co-championship my freshman year, but we want to take it all. We just want to make sure that we're the best that we can be, and if we're the best that we can be, then everything will take care of itself.
Obviously, personally, I'm a senior, so this year is basically my everything, and I think we're really trying to focus, and I think it's actually going to be a really good year.
Just like Dante said, this year means everything because the guys that are getting ready to graduate this year have been here the 3 years that I've been here, and the bond that we've created over these past 3 years are so amazing that like it's going to be rough whenever they leave. So while they're here, we want to get it done while we can.
This university is very important to me just because they gave me the opportunity. I was able to stay here all 4 years, and I was blessed by the coaches to give me the opportunity.
This university means everything. They've given me an opportunity to play at a higher level, something that at one point in my life I never thought was possible. And getting to honor God while we're here and show what the university is truly about, like the men's basketball team did last year, we want to do the same and we want to go farther.
On the attack here. They have taken one shot attempt already. This one way out, but to the middle of the goal. And Luisa Ramsauer with her first save of the match. Apart from now her first goal of the 2021 season, Guzman with some help from Kitterman sending it wide. Golden Eagles get a quick answer. C to the middle, stepping up and putting one into the back of the net. The Golden Eagles have the quick answer. Mia Kitterman with the left foot on the feed from Samantha C. and the Golden Eagles make it 2-1 after surrendering the second goal of the match just moments ago. Still spinning around, took it forward, guarding from line. She's creating space for herself. Tries to take the shot, and Luisa Ramsauer, a couple of quick steps to her left and lays out to make the grab.
It's been a rough go for ORU volleyball over the past few seasons. Last year, Frank Craig made his head coaching debut in the middle of COVID. Luckily, though, things have settled down just a bit this year. The voice of ORU volleyball, Josh Salem, here to talk about one of the Golden Eagles' top players. Josh?
Thanks, Scott. I had an opportunity to sit down with senior Sarah Thiessen on the volleyball team, who recently earned her 1,000th career dig. She had a lot to say about the team moving into Summit League play in the coming weeks.
Hi, my name is Sarah Thiessen. I am a redshirt senior on the ORU volleyball team. I'm the libero, and I'm also from Tulsa, Oklahoma. In the early season, one big focus that we've had is just really coming together as a team, because this past year we only lost one senior, so we're pretty much coming back with almost our entire team. One of the biggest things we wanted to focus on this year was coming together as a team, ultimately just putting the Lord first, glorifying Him in all that we do, and putting each other first. So jumping from high school volleyball to college volleyball, it's a big leap. So I think our biggest focus should be for our girls to come in and get used to this fast-paced game. And I think that's, bringing in our experience from last year to this year is really going to help us to kind of bring us up to that top-tier level school again, to help us compete with our other schools in our division. And I think we can do it. One thing that we're really focusing on this year is pushing through fifth sets, pushing through the end of the really tough, long games, as we struggled with that last year, but we've actually made that a really strong focus, not only in the practice gym, but also in the weight room. We take it very seriously that we know that we can also get better there, and that transfers over into the gym. And we also do lots of drills to kind of put into perspective like we are in that fifth set match, so that when we actually come to the actual game, we're already prepared mentally. One thing that we're really focusing on as a team this year is we want to take everything day by day. Yes, we have our end goal, but in order to get to our end goal, we have to focus on the present and staying focused in the present and being in the moment. I think one thing that's really noticeable about Coach, obviously he is very young, but I think that's very good because he brings so much energy to practice. Not only can he jump in and play with us, but he can cheer us on. If we're lacking energy, he brings us up, which is really helpful to have someone else besides just your teammate being able to do that. He also has brought in a completely different type of leadership. He's a very servant leader. He's all about not only making us better on the court, but he's also about making us better women and just preparing us for life after volleyball. And he's also done a very good job about keeping Kreis at the center of our team and just always glorifying him, always putting him first, and just at the end of the day, God's in control, and he's really good at reminding us about that.
The Golden Eagles will be back at the Aerobics Center for the home opener on Thursday, September 30th against South Dakota. Game time is 4 o'clock. We'll take a break, but when we come back, the Bush brothers, the first family of ORU soccer, right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Now, if you've ever driven by the Mabee Center, you may have noticed the new color scheme on the outside of the building. The navy roof with gray columns. But what you probably haven't seen is inside the concourse and the Arena Bowl. Lots of changes underway. Here's Jarrett Hardwick with a tour.
Hey ORU fans, my name is Jarrett Hardwick and I'm the Director of Athletic Communications here at Oral Roberts University. Today we're going to give you an inside look at the renovations going on here in the Mabee Center, both inside and out. As you can see, inside the arena, there's a lot of work being done. You already know about the old seats coming out, and the new ones will go in later this month. We are now also adding 3 new suites to the north side of the arena in sections B and C. There's new LED house lights, a new sound system, and new carpeting going in throughout the entire arena. Let's go take a look as to what's going on the concourse. As you can see behind me, the concourse is also getting a facelift. The paint you saw on the outside, the blue and the gray, will be consistent throughout the inside of the concourse as well. There will also be branding elements added to the ceiling and the walls. Now don't tell anyone, but we're gonna give you a sneak peek as to what the new chairs in the Mabee Center are gonna look like. Let's see how they feel. Oh yeah, they're quite comfy. This has been your Mabee Center renovation update, and we can't wait to see you in here in November. Go Golden Eagles.
They're not the Blues Brothers or the Statler Brothers. At ORU, they are the Bush Brothers. Ryan and Roger Bush coach the men's and women's soccer teams respectively. Two different personalities, but one shared goal, winning soccer games.
Roger Bush. I'm women's soccer coach at Oral Roberts University, the firstborn Bush brother.
Ryan Bush, men's soccer coach at Oral Roberts University. I am the second born by many, many, many years after.
So, well, first of all, I mean, coaching began for me whenever Ryan asked me as a young kid that he needed some help in the game. So I think he was about 12 or so. And then later on, he asked me again for some more help. Like 20 years later, he was coaching the women's team as the head coach, and he's like, "Hey, I need some help." And I was like, "Okay." So that's how I arrived at ORU. So.
Yeah, getting into the game, I actually was playing here at Oral Roberts University, and my brother was running a soccer club at the time and asked me to coach a couple of club teams. And I started coaching while I was still playing here at ORU. So the natural progression was, whenever I got done playing, Coach Steve Hayes actually asked me to start helping on the men's side here whenever I was just 22 years old. So jumped at the opportunity and been here ever since. He coached under me for 5 years, so I feel like a lot of his development and becoming the coach of the year was likely whenever he was my assistant on the women's side for 5 years. So I was like a proud father whenever he won it. I was thinking, man, I've developed a coach of the year. And then after he won it, because I'm more competitive than he is, I just went ahead and won it so he couldn't one-up me. You know.
So what I heard was I inspired him towards his Coach of the Year honor.
You're so inspiring.
I do think we both share, there are some common denominators. We like the soccer ball. I think that's something that is common between us, and we want to try to win the game by controlling the game as much as we can. So I think those are commonalities. And I think that, you know, outside of just style of play, I think we also both want our athletes to compete in a certain way. I think that's very important to both of us.
I think as far as philosophy of the game goes, though, I mean, both of us, we want to see the game played the right way. We're both kind of purist in that way. So do we always play that way? No, because obviously, you know, at this level, it's different than developing players. We're gonna do what we have to do to win games. But I think in a perfect world, both of us would want to see the game played the same way, which is high tempo, ball possession, high press, counter press, really control the game, as he said earlier.
Just so in terms of leadership style, I think that I think for both of us, I think a couple of the primary rules are just, you know, be empathetic, serve, and be prayerful. And I think those three things, I think we would both probably share in common.
Yeah, I agree with all that because he probably learned most of that from me. So, but yeah, leading men and women, it's so different. And obviously, I was on the women's side for a number of years, and then being on the guys' side, I probably would not be described as nurturing. I don't know that anybody would ever use those words as far as leadership styles go. He's more type A, so he's kind of a control freak. I've had to work with him, and it's frustrating. I believe more in like autonomy. So if we were talking about like the differentiation, I like to empower people more and not control people as much. I'm trying to make this as negative towards him as I possibly can. I think our values, like the core values, like being prayerful and empathetic, and serving the kids, like we're always going to be grounded in those things. I think how we go about it probably is going to be a little bit different.
It creates a platform and an opportunity that is significant and powerful. And I've been privileged just to be a part of like the bearing witness to what our kids do with respect to that. They embrace, or Ry calls it the heartbeat of the university. They embrace that. I think one of the last messages from Oral Roberts was actually he wanted everybody to see God and everyone else and other people. And we have kids in our program who exemplify that, demonstrate that, or are motivated towards that. And it's just awesome to be a part of that. So for me, that question it's a great question, but it's just it's a humbling response I think that I would have. It's just that we get to be a part of this, and how awesome is that?
Yeah, I mean, I love ORU. Obviously, I played here. Changed my life whenever I came here. We have a mission inside of our program, and it's to build Christ-like champions, which I think, is in line with the ethos of the university. Stand in the gap and the different things that are on the pillars of the program. I mean, 15 years ago, I made a commitment to pray for our kids every day by name, and it somehow has kept me focused on this is bigger than just winning games.
That's our show for this week. We really appreciate the ORU TV production students for crewing today. Now some quick notes. For more information about basketball season tickets, you can call 495-7678, that's area code 918, or log on to oruathletics.com. Great seats still available for what's turning into a tough home schedule with Oklahoma State, Tulsa, and Texas Arlington coming to town. Meanwhile, the home volleyball season kicks off this week with South Dakota coming to Tulsa Thursday at 4 o'clock. Well, folks, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week.